See how long I can last watching TikTok. Okay, let's go. Why isn't it fun? Okay, maybe I need to search. Okay. No, I clicked the right button. Oh, there's the search button. Okay. Let's do conspiracy. Conspiracies.
There's a theory I recently discovered called the $1,000 theory. It goes
Okay,
like
let's
this.
hear this guy.
There's a theory I recently discovered called the $1,000 theory. It goes like this. Imagine you're in a long hallway with 1,000 doors. Behind one of the doors is the opportunity you've been waiting for. Wealth, success, your dream life. But there's a catch. Most people quit after knocking on just 5 or 10 doors. They face rejection, failure, and assume that the opportunity doesn't actually exist. But the truth is, they just haven't knocked on enough doors yet. The point is, a lot of things that you'll try won't work out. But if you quit knocking, then you'll never even know what could have been. So keep knocking. The next door could change your life forever. There's a theory I recently discovered.
So far this month, I've made over $21,000. I'm about to hit my 20th straight day of making $1,000 or more per day. In total this month, I'll probably make over $40,000, which is the equivalent to what my old salary used to be. My wife and I were sitting here talking.
This SpongeBob theory is so wild, it might just change how you see the show forever. What if Pearl's real father isn't Mr. Krabs, but a whale we briefly meet in the Season 9 Jailbreak episode? Some fans believe that Whale could actually be her biological dad. According to the theory, after a mysterious event from the past, Mr. Krabs discovered baby Pearl alone and decided to raise her as his own. But not everything may be as it seems. You know how Mr. Krabs is always focused on making money? Some fans think he found a way to turn tragedy into opportunity, maybe even building the Krusty Krab on top of something much bigger and more secret than we ever realized. Mr. Krabs goes out of his way to spoil Pearl, giving her tons of gifts and special treatment. But what if that's not just fatherly love? What if he's trying to keep her close so she doesn't go looking for answers about her past? Throughout the series, Mr. Krabs talks about Pearl going to college one day, but in this theory, that might just be code for something else entirely. Is it possible Mr. Krabs has a deeper secret? One he's been hiding from everyone in Bikini Bottom? This SpongeBob theory is so wild, it might just change how you see the show forever.
I have a theory that the Mandela effect is used to see how much of history can be altered in front of our eyes. Here's a prime example of one of that. There's this woman on TikTok who was going crazy because she swore the Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia logo. And to the point that even Fruit of the Loom themselves put a timeline of all...
Pancake is to have the consistency of young human flesh. It's spongy, it has life to it. You were the guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place. I'm looking forward to this. This is really, really going to be a great pancake. Pancake is to have the consistency of young human.
The fuck?
Have you ever heard the theory how hell isn't actually a physical place, but it's a frequency? Oh yeah, I've heard that. So you can imagine heaven is in the sky, but hell is low, underground, right? What does that translate to? High vibration, low vibration. Low vibration. Okay. Check this out. People on ayahuasca. Now, when they go into their trips and they see all these entities and different demons or whatever interacting with them, they can see what? Good and bad.
You're right.
Hear me out. Ready? Now, in the Bible, when God said, the angels, like the fallen angels fell to earth and they try to trick the humans, this and that, right?
Yeah.
The reason being is they weren't given earth. Adam, humans were blessed the kingdom and earth, right?
Yeah.
But they're trapped there somehow where they can still interact with us. And that hell may very well be just the frequency of where you are. low frequency, a high
I
frequency
might have
will
just
be
ate all
affected
the
differently.
Doritos.
And maybe those things interact
That's
with you
yeah,
invisibly
very.
because you can't see
That's
these
what
frequencies.
they're
I
there
can't see
for.
Wi-Fi, right? I can't see radio waves,
But we still use it.
and it still affects you.
Yeah.
Maybe in the air, in the way someone reacts to you. Have you ever heard the...
Do you have a gun?
I have a license to have a gun. Yes, I do.
Do you own one?
Yes, I do.
Do you use it? Gun range?
It's none of your business. It's really none of your business. I have a license to have a gun.
Gun control?
What are you talking about?
Or a
You asked me
stronger
if I have a
background,
gun.
stronger
Yes, I have a
background
gun.
checks.
Excuse me. Yes, I have a gun. And yes, I have a permit to have a gun.
Stronger background checks. What about that?
I
Is
would-
there any
I
steps
would
that you
look
would
into
take
it, but
to make it harder to get a gun in this
The
country?
problem is, once you get into that, you start getting into a situation, the slippery slope, where all of a sudden you're going to really violate the Second Amendment. I don't want to do anything to violate the Second Amendment. To me, the Second Amendment is very important.
Do you have a gun?
That Charlie Kirk had an explosive
Okay,
device in his shirt.
I
The
agree.
microphone that he was using. I don't think we even know what microphone. I will say that the magnet attachment, which is exactly like this one, is for my Rode mic. It looks the same exact dimensions, everything else. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was Rode mic. It could be something else. Ultimately, that's irrelevant. What really matters here is that anyone that's pushing this theory clearly doesn't have any experience with explosives. As a former Green Beret, folks, I spend a lot of time with explosives. I know what explosive looks like for breaching, for many different aspects and the use of explosives. There's a couple of issues when we look at this picture, and what a lot of people are saying is, number one, if you look right here, you can see what looks like smoke. When we're talking about high explosives, smoke is non-existent. You might see some smoke after an explosion due to adjacent materials combusting, right? Not from the actual high explosives themselves. The other thing when it comes to explosive is that we can make charges and we can make devices that are directional. There's no doubt about that. But when you have a directional explosive, you still have to contend with the basic physics of equal and opposite reaction. So if the explosive device is powerful enough to kill a man, it would also completely shred his shirt, if that is underneath his shirt, if that's what we're saying, and that is what they're saying. So we would have this explosive event. It would be very obvious as to what happened, and it looks very different than a kinetic event when we're talking about a gun. And what we see here is a gun, and I think that is very clear. And I want you to notice here where they're saying the explosive device is, it's on the opposite side is where we actually see this energy dispersion and things happening. The first thing that we would see is an energetic event on his right side where they're saying that this microphone is, and that's not what we see at all. Now, a lot of where this theory originated was from the fact that Mossad and Israel used explosive pagers to target terrorists overseas. On those incidents, what I can tell you is it's very clear to me that those are explosive events. You see a lot of energy being displaced. There's other things surrounding people and things getting damaged, because even if you can direct most of the energy in an explosion in one direction, you're still going to have...
Someone's probably going to think I'm reaching, but if you notice that if you look down at the ground is still, and it's not moving. But when you look up, you'll notice that the clouds are moving. And it's only when we look up that we actually see a change that's happening. And you're not going to see the change if you continue to look down. But it's only when we look up that we notice that things actually can start to shift and change in our life when we look in the positive direction.
This is viral.
Someone's probably going to think
of this. I mean, you do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories.
Well, yes, but I mean, honestly, some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened. That's like an...
Okay.
There's some of the wildest theories about what the heck this Earth game actually is. One, that it is an interdimensional learning school, meaning we came down here incarnated in these bodies in order to learn lessons that we couldn't get anywhere else. We eventually leave this game, those lessons will literally be put back into the universal collective consciousness. Resonate? Let me know. Second one is that this is some sort of prison planet. We were actually divine gods, beings, creators of universes that somehow got compressed and then placed into this prison planet. And now it's up to us to come back into our God Source Creator consciousness and liberate ourselves out of this quote-unquote ascension. There's also the source player theory. This is the idea that there's only a set number of people who actually have souls and the rest is just holographic representations. And that this is some sort of game that we came into in order to see if we could escape, make it to the next level. What are your thoughts and feelings? What are your theories on what the heck this is? Resources and bio. There's some of the wildest theories about what the heck.
So I've always heard this theory that if you post way more on TikTok, like more consistently, your views will go way up because it rewards consistency or something.
If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? Clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit. Or, if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, if you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. It allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see.
Okay, here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that you've sure the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up, and these little trees lined up, and that blows everything down. Yeah. Okay, so here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
By the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do it one more time here. Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. Just showed up.
Oh,
okay.
It just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
it wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car come from?
No car.
The second is, does it really look like
car?
Does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
That does look fake.
There's also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like making of Star Wars, any of the any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
That's hilarious.
When you stop, was the election stolen? Was COVID-19 developed as a bioweapon? Were the vaccines a scam? Is global warming a hoax? These are all examples of conspiracy theories, where people believe a powerful organization is secretly trying to harm or deceive the population or a large group. Other examples of conspiracy theories are NASA faking the moon landing, the so-called round Earth theory, the suppression of free energy and the water-fueled car, 5G radiation, chemtrails, Roswell and Area 51, the Illuminati and New World Order, the assassinations of JFK and Princess Diana, the Holocaust faked, school shootings as hoaxes, 9/11 as an inside job, QAnon, and Pizzagate. People like to believe conspiracy theories for the same reason they like murder mysteries and whodunits. The secret...
Y'all know how when our skin turns green or when we wear copper or fake jewelry? Watch this.
So when you turn green from wearing that necklace or that ring or that bracelet or that watch too long, them earrings, you're exposing your true skin color.
Stay with me. Melanin and plants go through the same photosynthesis. We absorb the sun the same as plants do. The only difference we have with plants is that they have magnesium and we have iron. Now we know that our bodies are made up of a lot of water, almost 80%, 75. A lot of oxygen. What color does iron take when it's in water? That would explain why we are copper-colored beings. Now, when a leaf dies or falls in frequency, it turns the same color of our copper-colored skin. It loses its green color. They also try to say that the green veins we see in our skin is just a trick of light. Now, some babies are also born with green skin patches on them, and they didn't have no fake jewelry. And have y'all found it fascinating that babies don't have to drink water? You almost have to force them to drink it. Look, top 10 tips to get your kids to drink water, to get them more exposed to this oxygen. And some people say that could be the reason why our bodies age. Because DNA passes down and stays alive forever, because it's the magnesium that holds it together and keeps it alive, protects it. Now, plants are green. They don't have iron. They have magnesium. Now, we know in Egypt that Osiris is green. Yeah, green skin, immortality, magnesium. Even when we come out the womb, it says our bodies aren't suited for water for several months. Also, they can't tell where our genes originated. The civilizations that we built, the knowledge that we had. It is the oldest human DNA strain on Earth. What's in our skin is found in space. Y'all can say I'm crazy, but y'all know some of these aliens are different colors. We probably came to this planet with green skin. But y'all stay dangerous and let me know what y'all think. Y'all know how when our skin turns green or when we wear copper or fake?
And here's my conspiracy theory on the food in America, because y'all know I did a little bit of a meatless journey or whatever like that. We still on that shit because I'm refusing to buy the meat for my household because that shit's too expensive. But here's my calculations. When I do not eat meat, I don't get that urge to eat. No, hear me out. I'm not saying I'm, feel me, but I don't get that. Y'all know that grumbling in your stomach where you get so mad, you're like, damn, my stomach grumbling. I'm ready to eat right now. I only get that feeling when I'm eating meat. So then it got me thinking, conspiracy theory, just my thoughts. Is there chemical? There are chemicals in the fucking chicken meat, beef, pork, and turkey legs that make you more hungry as you consume it. Like, so once it breaks down in your stomach, once it breaks down in your stomach, it releases these hormones to make you want to eat more. Or even like, I was eating Chipotle, I ain't eaten Chipotle in so long. It's like that whole ass burrito is thick as hell. And people be eating that in one setting, it dip frying it and putting that damn cheese all over it. Ain't nothing but the chemicals. And even when I was working at fast food restaurants, I knew something wasn't right with the folks that day in, day out. Yeah, them folks that used to be mad about you putting extra cheese and they didn't want no cheese on their damn burgers. It ain't nothing but the damn chemicals. Well, because why are you so mad about somebody messing up your order that you could have cooked at the fucking house? Okay, that's my rant. And here's my...
There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about. Every single year, schools bring in these random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt, and never think twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Because when you follow the money, you don't end up at a small photography studio. You end up at a massive data firm, corporations with investments in facial recognition, AI training, and digital identity systems. And suddenly parents online are like, why does a data company want a perfectly lit, perfectly framed, high-resolution photo of my 7-year-old? Here's where the theory gets unsettling. These companies don't just take the photo, they store it, they process it, some even claim legal ownership of every image they capture. And when parents ask them to delete it, a few have literally said no, because that picture is now part of their system. So people are asking, is this really about school pictures, or are schools quietly helping build the next generation of facial data sets, starting with our children? I'm not saying it's true, but with how fast digital surveillance is growing, it's not as far-fetched as you think. Stay weird. There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking...
They don't even hide it anymore.
The season premiere of SNL with Ice Spice.
Look at us, 3 Gen Z icons.
Aren't you like 40?
No. Long time ago, I met this guy and made a deal where I get to stay 25 years old for forever.
What guy?
Tall fella, horns, red fur, I don't know, little hoods.
Keen, that's what that will do.
What? I thought it was like a Times Square Elmo or something.
They don't even hide.
Have you ever heard of quantum immortality? If you haven't heard of it, there is a chance you have experienced it. The theory says that you never really die. Obviously, this sounds stupid, but let me explain. The theory basically...
Things I do with the...
Now, this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament.
Tea. I bet you thought I was drinking tea, but, this glass is empty. You see that? There was no tea in there. And this This isn't my hand. These are my hands. That's not real at all. You see, you're being lied to. You're being lied to. I bet you thought this was me, but no, this is just a reflection. This was all taking place on a mirror. It was all a mirror. It was all a lie. And I bet you thought I was wearing pants. I'm not wearing pants. And this isn't even my voice. I dubbed this over in post-production. And you're being lied to. This is all taking place on a screen, and you are being lied to. You're being lied.
There's a theory that says, you know John the disciple, one of the disciples of Jesus. They say he's still alive. Whoa, where? How? They say he's still alive, bro. How? Check this out. So these are real people, real accounts, right? They have every single one of the disciples' deaths, how they got killed, where they got killed, right? Damn, except for one, John. Like, they don't have the documents, and it's even put into like scripture too. So in one of the stories, pretty much this was before Jesus was crucified. They were all by like a campfire, right? And pretty much Jesus asked Peter, said, "Do you love me?" And Peter said, "Yeah, I love you." And Jesus goes, "You are gonna be killed for me. Like, you're gonna be martyred for me." And Peter, he was in shock. He was like, "Man, like, that's what's gonna happen, blah blah." Then he turns and he looks at John. He goes, "What's gonna happen to him?" And literally, this is what it says in the Bible. It goes, this is John 21:21-23. He goes, "If I want him to stay alive until I come again, what is that to you? You follow me." What the heck? So he said that in the scripture, right? Yeah. There's a theory that says, you know.
What's your $1 million idea for an adventure?
So one of my co-founders and I quit our jobs right out of college to spend the last...
Stephen Hawking, right? The most brilliant man in the world. People say, like, one of the most smartest people in the world, right? And he didn't believe in God, right? He didn't believe in, like, afterlife. He was an atheist. Isn't it crazy? How was Stephen Hawking living? He was stuck in a... Like... Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that, though? Listen. So, before he had his Eurekas, he did have his, like, Eurekas and stuff, right? Yeah. And then when he said he was an atheist, he said, "Don't believe in this, don't believe in that." Then he went into that? What happened to him? Like, dead ass? Yes. Like, right after that? Yes. What? I didn't know that. Yeah, he was stuck in a wheelchair. Yeah. And he could only speak through a thing, remember? What the Nah. Because he defied God. Nah, that's barred. I never knew that. You didn't know that? I thought it was... this is also like an Andrew Schultz joke, too. Like, Stephen Hawking, right?
I opened the box, and this is in it. And it has some very KKK's cross. Fucking... This was in my box of Velveeta.
So I'll admit, when I first saw that video, I took it with a grain of salt. But upon doing some further research, this is something that's happening very frequently. So all across Pennsylvania for the past few months, people have been finding these bizarre, cryptic, conspiracy-laden notes packaged with their food or other home good items. Someone found one of these notes in a Velveeta box. The person at the beginning found theirs in a Velveeta box. And they've been found in dog food containers, pasta, cake mix, candy, and cookies. Whoever's putting these notes in these boxes has access to a lot of food. Now, obviously, whatever this person is putting on these notes is coded in some way. I haven't really